What if I told you that the very first thing people see at your front door is quietly shaping your financial destiny? Not just visitors, not just neighbors, but the energy of abundance itself, standing right outside, waiting for an invitation to enter. Hi friend, and welcome to Buddhist Thoughts Feng Shui. This is a space where we explore how small shifts in your surroundings can create massive transformations in your life. And today, we're diving into something truly special. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to effortlessly attract luck, wealth, and opportunities, like everything they touch turns to gold, while others work twice as hard but keep hitting walls and setbacks? It might surprise you to hear this, but according to both ancient Eastern wisdom and modern energy mindfulness practices, the answer might begin right at your front door. Because your entryway isn't just an architectural feature, it's not just a place where you hang your keys or take off your shoes, it's actually a portal, a magnetic field, a bridge between the outer world and your inner life. And what you place there, especially in the form of living, breathing plants, can either welcome in good fortune or silently push it away. In today's episode, we're going to uncover 3 powerful plants that don't just beautify your doorstep, they attract wealth, they invite harmony, and they shift the energy of your entire home in ways you might not expect. And just as importantly, we'll also talk about 5 plants you'll want to avoid if you don't want to unknowingly block the blessings that are meant for you. But before we dive deeper, I have a small, heartfelt favor to ask. If this message resonates with you and you'd love to see more content like this, please take just a moment to hit like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. Your support truly helps us get closer to our first big milestone of 3,000 subscribers. And when we get there, I'll be able to bring you even more meaningful, healing, and transformative content. Every single click brings us closer, and I'm so grateful you're here. So now, I invite you to take a slow breath in and a gentle breath out. Feel into this question: what kind of energy is standing at your door right now? Because in the next few minutes, you're going to discover that changing your life might begin with something as simple as a plant. This is Buddhist Thoughts Feng Shui, and your journey to harmony, abundance, and intentional living starts right at your doorstep. Plant number 1, the Prosperity Sentinel, Fiddle Leaf Fig, Ficus lyrata. Among the sacred guardians of home prosperity, there exists a quiet yet powerful presence, a plant whose energy, when honored correctly, transforms the flow of qi from ordinary to magnificent. This is the fiddle leaf fig, and in classical feng shui, it's known not merely as a houseplant, but as a living conductor of upward energy and cultivated intention. Standing tall, with a gentle yet commanding presence, the fiddle leaf fig embodies the essence of steady progress and dignified abundance. Its broad, glossy leaves unfurl in smooth, rounded contours. These curves don't interrupt the movement of energy. Instead, they embrace it, they hold it, they invite it to linger just a little longer. In the metaphysical framework of traditional Eastern spatial harmony, rounded edges symbolize completeness, generosity, and continuity. These are energetic qualities that wealth naturally responds to. Sharp corners, they create cutting energy, but soft, rounded forms, they create flow. Now, the vertical stature of this plant is particularly important. A plant that reaches toward the heavens reflects the human aspiration to rise above limitation. In the home, it becomes a visual echo of that same noble aim. This plant doesn't sprawl across the floor, it doesn't hang or descend. It lifts, it stretches, it climbs, and in doing so, it mirrors the very nature of expansive chiva. Each time its leaves reach higher, they become emblems of growth. Growth in the family line, growth in one's personal path, growth in the quiet unfolding of prosperity. The fiddle leaf fig is not merely decorative, it serves as a reminder of uprightness, both in physical form and in moral clarity. In spaces where it thrives, you might notice subtle changes, a lightening of the atmosphere, a renewed clarity in daily decisions, a softening of tension that once went unspoken. These phenomena are not accidents. They are the whisper of aligned energy moving freely. Within the 5-element system, this plant embodies the wood element. Wood governs growth, renewal, and generative cycles. It carries the resonance of spring, the season of beginnings, opportunities, and forward movement. Introducing a strong wood element at the threshold of one's home is like planting spiritual seeds at the very boundary between the outer world and the inner sanctuary. From this liminal space, new fortune is invited to root and blossom. Its placement, therefore, must be deliberate. The entrance of a home is not merely a door, it's the mouth of Chid, the sacred portal through which all worldly and ethereal energies enter. To station a fiddle leaf fig at this passage is to appoint a guardian, one that filters incoming energy, stabilizes emotional currents, and prepares the household to receive blessings with grace. The energy emitted by this plant becomes especially potent when it's accompanied by care and presence. The fiddle leaf fig is known to be responsive. It reacts to neglect, and it thrives under mindful stewardship. This is no coincidence. In Feng Shui, a plant is not passive. It's a dialogue. When you water it with awareness, when you observe its changes, dust its leaves, or rotate it to balance its exposure to light, these are not merely horticultural tasks. They are energetic rituals. Each interaction nourishes not just the plant, but the relationship between you and your dwelling. Such mindful cultivation feeds the spirit of the home. In Buddhist-influenced interpretations of energy practice, these interactions also reflect the path of right action. Attention to life forms, even in their botanical expression, enhances your connection to the cycles of cause and effect. To nourish a fiddle leaf fig is to tend not only to greenery, but to your own karmic field. A healthy, upward-reaching plant at the doorway becomes a beacon, not just to neighbors or guests, but to the unseen forces that flow through space and time. Its practical benefits shouldn't be overlooked either. The fiddle leaf fig helps purify the air, bringing freshness and lightness into the breathing space of the home. Such clarity in the atmosphere directly affects the clarity of mind and heart. In homes where the plant is allowed to thrive, fatigue dissipates more quickly, creative flow increases, and decision-making becomes less clouded. These are tangible echoes of a deeper alignment taking place between you and your environment. Great care must be taken in choosing the vessel that holds this plant. A ceramic pot in earthy tones harmonizes with the earth element, grounding the plant's upward energy and offering stability. Terracotta, jade green, or matte gold finishes can further enhance the symbolic wealth qualities it supports. Here's something you might not have thought about: placing small amulets or an inscribed intention beneath the soil before planting adds an additional metaphysical layer. It imbues the root system with your personal affirmation for abundance, health, or progress. You're not just planting a fig tree, you're planting a prayer. You're rooting an intention into your home's energetic foundation. In spaces where the fiddle leaf fig cannot stand at the primary entrance, it may be situated in the southeastern sector of the home. This is the traditional wealth sector in classical Feng Shui. There too, it emits a rising force that activates personal and familial fortune, especially when oriented with care toward the center of the home. To the untrained eye, this plant may appear as a simple trend, something you see in interior design magazines or on Pinterest, but for those who understand the subtle flows of space, the language of form, and the ethics of intention, the fiddle leaf fig is much more. It's a living altar, an invitation to the energies of prosperity, a mirror of inner aspiration, and a companion on the path toward greater harmony. Where it grows, stagnation is dissolved. Where it stands, opportunity is welcomed. And for the one who cares for it with love and intention, fortune is quietly and steadily awakened. Plant number 2. The gentle guardian, Cuban oregano, Plectranthus amberbinicus. In the subtle art of cultivating harmony through space, there exists a quiet presence, one that's often overlooked for its humble appearance, yet revered in spiritual traditions for its energetic sensitivity. Cuban oregano, also known as the money herb or fragrant succulent, is one such plant, modest in size, yet rich in vitality. It is the embodiment of gentle strength and resilient fortune. Its rounded, velvety leaves carry within them the essence of benevolence. Each leaf, soft to the touch and rich with a clean, calming aroma, emanates not only physical fragrance, but also energetic clarity. In the language of Feng Shui, this is a plant of refined wood qi, gentle yet assertive, nourishing yet protective. Cuban oregano thrives in conditions of simplicity. It doesn't demand elaborate care or excessive attention. It asks only for presence, and in this way, it mirrors the wisdom of the middle path taught by the Buddha. Neither indulgence nor deprivation, but the steady, mindful tending of one's environment, breath, and intention. When placed near the entrance of the home, the threshold between the external chaos of the world and the internal sanctuary of spirit, Cuban oregano performs as a silent guardian. It filters, it softens, it diffuses sharp edges in energy. This is especially vital in urban dwellings or high-traffic environments where emotional static and unconscious thoughts are constantly moving in and out through the main doorway. The gentle fragrance of this plant, particularly in warm seasons, activates a field of subtle purification. Traditional practitioners understand that scent is not merely sensory, it's vibrational. Fragrance influences the limbic system, stirs the memory, and opens the heart center. Cuban oregano's aromatic essence resonates with calmness, clarity, and the dissolution of mental fog. A household where this plant flourishes tends to experience fewer outbursts, steadier moods, and a quiet uplift that cannot be traced to reason alone. It's like the air itself becomes softer, conversations become easier, misunderstandings resolve more quickly. Energetically, it serves a dual function, attracting and protecting. Its lush green leaves, tinged with a soft silver hue, signal financial freshness and grounded vitality. In many Asian households, it's associated with modest wealth, the kind that is earned through consistency, ethics, and humility rather than gambling or speculation. This type of abundance is not flashy, it's dependable. Like a well-rooted tree growing year after year, offering shade and fruit quietly to those who nurture it. In spiritual disciplines that involve the use of plants as energy anchors, Cuban oregano is often used to seal intentions or neutralize stagnant fields. A small pot placed near the front entrance may be infused with a handwritten note beneath the soil, an intention written during the new moon, for example, or a prayer for stability during periods of transition. These actions are not superstition, they're rituals of presence. The ancients understood that the material world listens, Earth, after all, remembers every step. The rounded form of this plant, both in foliage and overall growth pattern, invites inward reflection and harmonious expansion. Where the fiddle leaf fig stretches upward with conviction, Cuban oregano spreads gently outward, like ripples in calm water. Its energy is not dominant, it coexists. It harmonizes, and in doing so, it provides the exact vibration required for wealth that grows through inner peace rather than outer force. There's a lesson here, one that echoes through both Buddhist and Taoist philosophies. Wealth that arrives through frantic effort is easily lost. Wealth that comes through inner alignment is sustained across generations. Cuban oregano teaches us, through its form, its growth, and its fragrance, this ancient truth. This plant also bears emotional intelligence. In homes where relationships feel tense or communications become sharp, the presence of Cuban oregano by the door serves as a balm. Guests often comment on the lightness they feel upon entering such spaces, though they may not know why. The plant subtly neutralizes discordant energy, resentment, jealousy, impatience, and transmutes it through the alchemical process of scent and form. In traditional Southern Asian metaphysics, it's said that a home's front door is where karma either enters or is dissolved. To place a harmonizing agent such as Cuban oregano at this gate is to consciously filter what you permit to pass through. Not all energy deserves entry. Not all influence is welcome. The plant stands, not aggressively, but with quiet firmness, as if whispering to negativity, "Not here." You may also create small rituals around the plant. Here's a simple practice. Before leaving the house for an important meeting, gently rub one leaf between your fingertips and inhale. Then pause and recite an internal affirmation. I step forward with grace. I receive only what serves my peace. This moment, though brief, forms an energetic seal. You're no longer walking out as a passive participant in the day's chaos, but as one who has claimed dominion over their vibration. When the plant begins to grow, to flower, or to spread with new foliage, it's a sign that your home's energetic field has become conducive to prosperity and peace. Like any guardian spirit, it responds to care with loyalty. If it begins to wilt or drop leaves unexpectedly, it's not merely a sign of environmental imbalance, it may be a signal to examine emotional residue in the home. Are there unresolved tensions? Is the heart of the household being neglected? In such times, a gentle cleansing of the space, opening the windows, burning sacred herbs, reciting gratitude aloud, may restore both the plant and the household cheer. Plants, especially those with spiritual resonance, often act as early messengers for shifts in the unseen. From a practical standpoint, Cuban oregano is exceptionally adaptable. It doesn't demand direct sunlight, and it tolerates modest watering schedules. It thrives in both tropical and temperate zones. Its resilience mirrors the financial character it attracts: enduring, unshakable, reliable. In Feng Shui practice, it can also be used as a harmonizing counterbalance. For example, if your front door faces a sharp street corner, or if it's aligned directly with a staircase, both of which create fast-moving or draining qi. A pot of Cuban oregano on either side of the door helps soften this momentum. It creates an energetic buffer that allows wealth to linger rather than rush through. In conclusion, Cuban oregano may not announce itself with drama or height, but its presence is no less sacred. It is the gentle guardian, the fragrant sentinel of peace, and the quiet ally of prosperity. To grow it at the entrance of your home is to declare, "This is a space of calm intention. Here, fortune enters with ease, and harmony stays by choice." Plant number 3. The ambition anchor, corn plant, Dracena fragrans. There are certain plants that don't simply decorate a home. They inhabit it with presence, with a weight of meaning that quietly holds the structure together. Among these, the corn plant or Dracena fragrans has long been revered as a living embodiment of perseverance, ambition, and upward fortune. Though humble in appearance, this plant carries a quiet magnetism that cultivates not only outer abundance, but inner resilience. With its tall, upright trunk and radiant green leaves fanning outward in balanced layers, the corn plant mirrors the very archetype of yang energy in spatial metaphysics. Ascending, focused, and life-generating. In the teachings of classical Feng Shui, vertical form represents the energetic motion of striving upward, the noble effort of a family seeking better fortune, a student reaching for knowledge, a business owner building success, brick by brick. To place this plant near the threshold of a home is to root one's ambition in stability while welcoming the energy of sustained success. Unlike more ornamental flora, the corn plant doesn't ask to be admired. It simply stands, and in its stillness, it exudes strength. Its presence is deeply grounding. It tells the universe, here is a space where progress is not rushed, but cultivated. In the 5-element system, the corn plant is yet another expression of wood qin. But unlike the gentle oregano or the grand fig, Its energy is dense, direct, and determined. The thick stalk acts as a symbolic backbone, providing support not only in form but in vibration. Just as the spine holds the body upright, the corn plant provides a vertical energetic column at the entrance of one's space, stabilizing the inflow of prosperity while anchoring the household in mental clarity. Its glossy green leaves reflect light and expand in symmetry, a visual echo of balance and order. Such forms are not to be underestimated in energy cultivation practices. Symmetry in a plant's growth mirrors equilibrium in the lives of those who dwell near it. When its leaves remain vibrant, when its trunk remains firm, it signals that the chi around it is harmonious and progressive. What distinguishes the corn plant spiritually, however, is not only its outward form, but its subtle fragrance, especially when mature. In Buddhist-influenced spatial teachings, scent is believed to reach the most subtle layers of consciousness. A fragrance that is natural, soft, and unobtrusive acts as a spiritual thread, subtly lifting the mood, cleansing stale emotion, and reminding the soul of the beauty of stillness. The corn plant's occasional blossoms carry such a scent. Rare, yes, but when present they mark a moment of energetic alignment. In traditional belief, when a corn plant blooms in a home, it's an omen that something in the karma of that household has matured. A reward not of coincidence, but of continuity. Like many protectors in nature, the corn plant performs its work silently. It absorbs toxins from the air, transforms stagnant pockets of energy, and uplifts the mood of the space functions that modern science now confirms, but which ancient wisdom has always known. When placed near the main entrance, it becomes the final filter through which all energy must pass before entering the home's sacred interior. Guests sense this, so do those who live within. The home feels more clear, more calm, more capable of carrying one's goals to fruition. Its symbolism extends into the realm of career, particularly for those whose work requires decision-making, negotiation, or public influence. Within many traditions, the corn plant is known to attract clarity in vision and eloquence in speech. Its vertical energy supports mental focus and a sharpness of will. For this reason, it's often placed in the southeast or north sectors of the home, areas that govern wealth and life path respectively. In a world that rewards speed, the corn plant teaches endurance. Its growth is not explosive, but steady. It reflects the kind of ambition rooted in ethics, a power that grows not through dominance, but through alignment with natural law. Those who tend to a corn plant with patience often find that their professional journeys begin to mirror that plant's wisdom, upright, gradual, deeply rooted, and enduring. From a spiritual perspective, this plant can also be used as a vessel for prayer or blessing. It's not uncommon in certain traditions to tie a red thread around its stalk as a symbolic knot of intention, a method for sealing one's wish and anchoring it into the physical world. Such acts need not be dramatic. A simple bow tied with sincerity, paired with a short-spoken dedication, is sufficient. What matters is not the ritual itself, but the purity of thought behind it. In homes where energy has become erratic, perhaps due to financial hardship, relational conflict, or uncertainty in life direction, the corn plant serves as a stabilizer. It doesn't solve such challenges directly, of course, but it helps cultivate the conditions in which clarity can arise. When placed with care, watered with rhythm, and honored as a member of the home, it becomes part of the family's energetic architecture. You might observe over time that where the corn plant thrives, people are less impulsive. They plan with greater forethought. Arguments soften, routines return, and projects that were once delayed begin to move again. These are not miracles in the mystical sense. They're the subtle results of a space returning to coherence. To enhance its energetic field, you may place beneath the soil a coin, a symbol of circulating wealth, or a piece of citrine, the stone of willpower and manifestation. Combined, these elements act as offerings to the spirit of the plant, signaling to the broader energetic world that the household is open to aligned prosperity. In all matters of placement, intention is key. The plant should not be crammed behind doors or lost in dark corners. It should stand where it can see the flow of movement, where it can feel the breath of light, and where it's acknowledged, even briefly. Each day, to bow one's head to it in passing, to touch its leaves with care, to thank it silently, is to invite a deeper participation in the sacred rhythm of space and time. Thus, the corn plant becomes not only a botanical feature, but a mirror of aspiration. It holds space for your becoming. It reminds you of strength, rooted in patience, ambition guided by clarity, and wealth born not from force, but from flow. To plant it at the entrance of your home is to declare without words, "Here we rise with grace. Here success is cultivated, not chased. Here we are steady, we are ready." Section 5. Plants that could block your blessings. Now that we've explored the 3 powerful plants that invite prosperity, harmony, and upward growth into your home, it's time to turn our attention to the other side of the coin. Because just as certain plants can amplify positive energy, others, though beautiful in their own right, can unintentionally create blockages, disruptions, or subtle stagnation in the flow of qi. These are not bad plants, let's be clear about that, but they are misplaced when stationed at the threshold of your home. The front door is not a neutral space, it's the mouth through which all energy enters, and what stands there speaks volumes to the universe about what you're ready to receive. So let's talk about 5 types of plants to avoid at your front entrance, and more importantly, why. A sharp-thorned plants, cacti, roses, bougainvillea. There's something undeniably striking about a cactus, its sculptural form, its resilience in harsh conditions, its ability to thrive where others cannot. And roses. They're the universal symbol of beauty, romance, and devotion. So why would we ever avoid them at the front door? The answer lies not in what these plants are, but in what they emit. In the ancient study of Feng Shui, the unseen is as significant as the seen. You must learn to feel what cannot be measured, those subtle shifts in energy that enter with the breeze or hide in the spaces we ignore. And among the quiet disruptors of balance are sharp-thorned plants. Thorns, in metaphysical terms, represent piercing energy. They're expressions of protective force, of tension, of defense. In the wild, they serve a noble function to guard, to survive, to assert boundaries. But when placed at the gateway to your dwelling, the place where opportunity, joy, and blessings are meant to enter, that same energy may become intrusive. It cuts rather than welcomes, it repels rather than embraces, and it may send the wrong signal to both the visible and invisible guests who approach your door. In traditional teachings, the front entrance is not merely a physical opening, it's a spiritual threshold. Here the energy of heaven and earth converges. Here opportunity is invited. When sharp forms point inward toward the home, they can slice the smooth flow of Sheng Qi, life-enhancing energy, transforming it into Sheng Qi, an energy that creates agitation, mistrust, or subtle unease. This doesn't happen with thunder or explosion. It happens slowly, over time. A restless night, a series of misunderstandings, a project that never quite takes off. Roses, though fragrant and beloved, carry the same duality. Their petals evoke love, softness, sensuality, yet their thorns whisper of sorrow, heartbreak, and caution. In Buddhist symbolism, even beauty can carry suffering if one is not mindful of its placement. It's not that these plants are inherently negative, rather it's their location that determines their influence. Should you wish to honor the spirit of these plants, it's best to situate them where their protective nature is welcome. On a balcony facing a busy street, where they can shield the home from excess external movement, or in a personal garden, where their energetic character can serve the creative process or inner emotional release. These are spaces where boundaries must be drawn, where boldness is appropriate, However, at the front door, where you must signal openness to grace, fortune, and new beginnings, the sharpness of thorn plants creates an energetic conflict. The door must feel safe to approach. It must smile with greenery, not warn with spears. From the 5 elements lens, these plants often represent metal or fire chib, both of which are forceful, fast-moving, and capable of overpowering the wood element, traditionally associated with health, family, and wealth growth. When fire or metal energy dominates at the entrance, it can manifest as financial burnout, interpersonal conflicts, or frequent accidents and errors. The ancient masters observed that homes with aggressive flora near the threshold often experienced unresolved tension. Children became restless, sleep became shallow, guests arrived but did not linger. Fortune came only to vanish again. These symptoms are not superstition, they're energetic feedback. For those who still feel drawn to the elegance of a cactus or the romance of a rose, consider relocation rather than removal. Honor their essence by placing them where their unique energy can serve rather than interfere, and balance their sharpness with softness. Place them beside round-leafed companions. Introduce water features nearby or ground them with natural stones that absorb harsh vibrations. In the way of Feng Shui, no plant is ever cursed, but each carries a spirit, a resonance, a message. The wise practitioner listens, and at the doorway of one's home, that listening becomes sacred. Be overgrown or overshadowing trees near the entrance. Among the many features that grace a home's exterior, none carry more commanding presence than a large, mature tree. Its vast canopy offers shade, its roots dig deep into the earth, and its towering silhouette brings a sense of permanence. Yet in the sacred language of Feng Shui, the question is never simply what is grand, but does it harmonize with the breath of the home? When a tree grows too close, too wide, or too heavily across the front entrance, its beauty may come at the quiet expense of balance, clarity, and incoming fortune. In classical teachings, the front door is likened to the spiritual lungs of the house. It's the portal through which all energy flows. The cheers of opportunity, of fresh beginnings, of unseen blessings. When this portal is covered by heavy branches, dense foliage, or thick shadows, the energy becomes stifled, unable to breathe freely. What enters the space is not vibrant shinchi, but slowed, muddy current. Such stagnation may not be visible to the eye, but it's deeply felt. The home becomes heavier. Thoughts become less clear. Even joy seems to move more slowly, as though trying to push through resistance. Trees in their majesty represent the wood element. But like all elements, wood must be in proportion. When too strong, it overpowers fire, which governs inspiration, confidence, and clarity of direction. A front entrance buried beneath a wide tree canopy often creates exactly this imbalance. The result? A dimming of vision, both literal and metaphorical. Sunlight, symbolic of yang energy, is blocked. With less light comes more yin. Moisture, coldness, introspection, and sometimes inertia. While yin is essential for rest and inner work, too much of it at the door can lead to apathy, depression, or a slow erosion of motivation. Feng Shui is a philosophy of relationship. It reminds us that too much of anything, even shade, can diminish the natural vitality of a space. A tree whose limbs reach too far over the threshold may be perceived by the qi as an obstruction, even if planted with love. This is why traditional villages in East Asia were often designed with open, sunlit doorways. Trees were respected, but rarely allowed to overshadow the very gate through which blessings were to enter. There's also a symbolic dimension drawn from Taoist and Buddhist thought. Trees that loom too closely near the entrance may create a psychic impression of confinement. Subconsciously, the residents may begin to feel closed in, as though the world beyond the door is less accessible. Decision-making becomes cautious. Risks are avoided. Fortune sensing hesitation, delays its visit. This condition, though subtle, can shape years of one's path. Practically, large trees planted too close to a home's foundation may also cause damage. Cracked walls, disturbed plumbing, or unstable pathways. These are not merely structural issues. In Feng Shui, the home is a reflection of the body. A cracked wall near the entry reflects vulnerability in your energetic boundary. A shifting foundation mirrors instability in your financial or emotional life. The physical and the energetic will always dance together. This is not to say large trees are unwelcome. On the contrary, they can be wise companions and protectors, but their relationship to the entrance must be thoughtfully balanced. If one already exists near the door and its shadow cannot be removed, certain remedies may help soften its energetic weight. Prune with intention. Not only for aesthetics, but as a ritual of releasing blockages, offer a word of gratitude to the tree before cutting. Acknowledge its spirit. Install soft lighting near the doorway to restore yang presence. A warm, welcoming glow counteracts the dominance of excessive shade. Place a pair of stone lions, guardian dogs, or earth element planters at the base of the tree to anchor its energy and redirect flow away from the door. Use mirrors wisely inside the entryway to circulate stagnant qi and return light into the space, but never reflect the door outward, which would drive fortune away. Above all, observe. If the household seems stuck in cycles of delay, if laughter becomes rare, or visitors rarely stay long, step outside, look up. What greets you? Is it open sky, or a dense canopy that asks the world to keep its distance? In Buddhist thought, the path to liberation begins with awareness. And in Feng Shui, liberation from energetic stagnation begins with how we allow energy to move. The tree is not the enemy, but its presence must be in harmony with the doorway's sacred role, to invite life in, not to shield it out. Say dead or dying plants. In every living thing, there exists a cycle: birth, growth, decline, and return. This rhythm mirrors the great dharmic truths taught in the sutras, that all conditioned phenomena are impermanent, that decay is part of nature, and that attachment without awareness can create suffering. Yet even as we accept this cycle, the placement of dying or dead plants near the entrance to your home must be approached with the utmost care, for they carry with them not only the energy of endings, but the silent invitation for stagnation to enter. Within Feng Shui, plants are more than ornament. They're vessels of living qi. Their leaves absorb not just sunlight, but the emotional and energetic residue of the space around them. When a plant thrives, it radiates growth, freshness, and harmony, but when a plant withers, when its leaves curl brown or fall, it begins to reflect a different vibration, one of exhaustion, heaviness, or unresolved grief. To position such a plant at the mouth of the home, the first threshold that greets both visitors and incoming qi is to present a symbol of decay to the universe. It whispers, unconsciously, something here has ended. And as is the nature of energy, like attracts like, what follows may be delays, financial fatigue, relational distance, or mental fog. Even if the household is functioning on the surface, a dying plant quietly absorbs and broadcasts the underlying weariness of the space. From a symbolic standpoint, dead vegetation at the entrance interrupts the ritual of renewal. In Buddhist mindfulness, each doorway represents a transition, a crossing from the old moment into the new. But when you step over a wilted stem or walk past yellowed leaves every day, your awareness may be pulled into subtle feelings of neglect, loss, or abandonment. These impressions lodge in the subconscious and shape the tone of each day without your noticing. Moreover, a decaying plant often becomes a vessel for energies we're reluctant to confront. It represents intentions we once held but did not follow through on, promises made to ourselves but left unattended. It may symbolize the forgotten, the postponed, the "I'll fix it later" that becomes a habit. And slowly, this vibration of neglect begins to spill into other areas. Unread emails, undone repairs, unspoken feelings. As within, so without. There's also the matter of physical impact. Decomposing plant matter often attracts pests, mold, and stale air. These two are not merely annoyances. In Feng Shui, their presence confirms that the qi has begun to rot. You may feel drained more quickly in such environments, and family dynamics may grow inexplicably irritable or fragmented. Yet let's be clear, the appearance of a dying plant is not a failure, it's an invitation. It's the home speaking through the plant, asking, what are you ready to release? The presence of death is not to be feared. In Buddhist teachings, it's to be contemplated, understood, and allowed to become the fertilizer for new growth. Therefore, the appropriate response is not guilt, but action rooted in reverence. If a plant is fading at your threshold, remove it with ceremony. Thank it for its service. Acknowledge the energy it absorbed on your behalf and return it to the earth or compost it as part of a mindful cleansing practice. Burn incense as you do so, or recite a short intention. May this letting go clear space for light, clarity, and joy to enter. Once the space is cleared, bless the empty area. Even a small pause before introducing a new plant can make a difference. When you do choose a replacement, make it a conscious act. Choose a plant that symbolizes your current intention, not merely something beautiful, but something aligned. Perhaps a resilient pose to signal renewal, or a peace lily for emotional harmony. Let the new growth be seeded with clarity, not just convenience. In some traditions, practitioners will tie a red thread around the stem of the new plant during planting as a symbol of continuity and blessing. Others place a small stone of jade or clear quartz beneath the soil, crystals known to stabilize and amplify positive qi. Such gestures, though quiet, carry weight in the energetic field. What matters most is this, that the plants near your front door are alive, vibrant, and intended. They're your home's first breath. They speak on your behalf to the universe. Let them say, this is a place of vitality, of readiness, of loving care. In the teachings of space and spirit, energy does not lie. A withered leaf is never just a leaf. It's the mirror of our inner state, and in restoring the plant, we often restore a piece of ourselves. The mulberry tree. In the practice of mindful placement and the art of harmonizing your surroundings, not all choices are about aesthetics or botanical preference. Some decisions must be weighed against ancient memory, collective echoes passed down through symbols, sounds, and subtle resonance. The mulberry tree, while outwardly benign, its fruit nourishing, its leaves broad and soothing, carries within it a vibration that traditional wisdom approaches with caution, particularly at the threshold of the home. Across many East Asian cultures, the mulberry tree bears a linguistic and symbolic association with mourning. The word for mulberry is homophonos, with funeral. And though the connection may seem linguistic at first glance, in spiritual practice, phonetics and vibration are not separate from energy. In classical Feng Shui, such symbolic echoes are treated with the same care as directional flows or elemental balances. Sound and language are considered part of the subtle body of space. To plant a mulberry tree at the entrance to your home, where fortune, protection, and new beginnings are meant to flow, is thus regarded as a form of spiritual misalignment. It's not superstition, but symbolic dissonance. Imagine inviting prosperity to enter, yet greeting it with the energetic metaphor of loss. The vibration of such a gesture, though unspoken, is felt, and like a mantra chanted unconsciously, the repetition of that energy begins to take root. Over time, the household may experience small, yet persistent stagnations, relationships fraying under unexplained tension, financial momentum interrupted by sudden delays, or a sense of emotional weight that clings despite efforts to move forward. These are not the dramatic signs of misfortune, but the quieter murmurings of qi that has become heavy, hesitant, or subdued. From the perspective of energy flow, the mulberry tree also carries practical challenges. Its dense, bushy foliage tends to block sunlight and airflow, both essential to maintaining vibrant yang qi at the entrance of a home. When planted too close to the doorway, it casts long shadows that may dim the energy of the entire space, encouraging a yin-dominant atmosphere. One of retreat, reflection, and in extreme cases, isolation. In Buddhist understanding, light is not merely physical. It's a metaphor for awareness, for compassion, for awakened clarity. A home in which light struggles to enter is not just dark in form, but may gradually grow dim in spirit. In such conditions, it becomes harder for the residents to access inspiration or connect to opportunities beyond the threshold. They may find themselves turning inward excessively, caught in cycles of doubt or fear. In some folk traditions, the mulberry tree is also believed to attract wandering spirits due to its yin nature and its frequent use in rural shrines or burial areas. Whether one holds such beliefs literally or metaphorically, the lesson remains: when a plant is deeply associated with grief, decay, or spiritual ambiguity, it's not ideal for welcoming new life, fortune, or celebration. Yet, let's be clear, the mulberry tree is not inherently negative. Like all living beings, it has its place in Chinese medicine. Its leaves are valued for their cooling and purifying properties, its fruits for nourishing the blood and calming the nerves. Its presence in nature is rich, and its gifts are many. The wisdom here is not in rejection, but in recognition of context. Should you wish to grow a mulberry tree for its medicinal properties or personal significance, it's best planted in the backyard, in a garden sanctuary, or on the periphery of your land, never at the main gate. There it may offer its gifts without obstructing the flow of vital shuis. Placed thoughtfully, it can still be a source of healing. But when positioned directly before the entryway, the meeting place of attention and arrival, it risks sending a signal of closure rather than invitation. In the refinement of Feng Shui, each placement is an act of speech, each tree is a word, each curve in the path is a sentence in the larger dialogue between you and the universe. The question is, what do you wish to say at the very doorway of your life? If the answer is joy, prosperity, protection, and clarity, then let your entrance be a space of open arms and ascending symbols. Let it sing of welcome, not farewell, and let the vibrations that meet the morning sun be those that lift, not lower. These spiritually heavy trees, banyan, weeping fig, sacred fig. There are trees in this world that do not simply grow. They remember. Their trunks thicken with time and reverence. Their roots spread like veins into the bones of the earth, and their energy vibrates with memory, spirit, and ancestral silence. Among these sacred elders are the banyan Ficus bengalensis, the sacred Ficus religiosa, and the large weeping fig Ficus benjamina. These are not casual trees. They're spiritual entities, often found near temples, shrines, and places where the veil between the seen and the unseen grows thin. In the realm of Feng Shui and Eastern metaphysics, such trees are known to carry profound yin qi, the energy of quietude, inwardness, shadow, and ancestral presence. While yin energy is essential for balance as night balances day and as stillness nurtures action, it must be carefully harmonized at the threshold of the home. For the front door, known as the mouth of qi, is not a place for ancestral stillness. It's a place of living movement, where wealth arrives, where joy enters, where breath flows freely. To plant a banyan, sacred fig, or large weeping fig at this gateway is to mistakenly station a spiritual guardian where a gatekeeper of fortune should stand. These trees are not hostile, far from it, but their energy is so deeply rooted, so inward-turning, that they anchor the very flow the home needs to stay vital and expansive. In traditional Asian culture, such trees are often surrounded by offerings, incense, and respect, precisely because they're believed to house spirits or to serve as conduits for subtle realms. Planted too near a residence, especially near the entrance, their influence can become overwhelming. The energy begins to settle, to spiral inward, to gather instead of move, and what was once a house of progress may feel like a place suspended in time, a place suspended in contemplation, where the residents begin to turn inward rather than forward, where opportunities seem to pass by the door rather than knock upon it. Residents of homes with such trees positioned too closely to the entrance often report vivid dreams, heightened sensitivity to subtle energies, and a feeling of being watched or accompanied. Some describe a sense of reverence that makes the home feel more like a shrine than a living space. While these experiences may be spiritually enriching for those on a monastic path, they can feel heavy and restrictive for families seeking growth, expansion, and worldly success. The banyan tree, in particular, is known in Hindu and Buddhist traditions as a symbol of immortality and spiritual wisdom. The Buddha himself is said to have attained enlightenment beneath a sacred fig tree. These are not mere plants, they are living temples. To have one at your doorstep is to invite the energy of meditation, reflection, and ancestor worship into your daily comings and goings. But here's the challenge. Such energy, while sacred, can feel at odds with the rhythm of modern life. Children may become unusually quiet or withdrawn. Adults may feel less motivated to pursue career advancement. The household energy turns contemplative rather than dynamic. Sleep may become heavy, filled with symbolic dreams, and the sense of stuckness that some households report may not be due to external obstacles, but to an internal pull towards stillness that these trees naturally emanate. From a practical standpoint, these trees also grow massive root systems that can damage foundations, pathways, and underground utilities. Their canopies can block nearly all sunlight, creating a perpetually dim entryway, and their fallen leaves, thick and abundant, require constant maintenance. If you already have such a tree near your entrance and removing it is not feasible, perhaps due to its age, legal protections, or spiritual significance, there are ways to work with its energy rather than against it. First, create a deliberate separation between the tree and the doorway. Install a stone pathway, a small fence, or a decorative screen that symbolically draws a boundary. This tells the energy, you are honored here but not invited inside. Second, introduce strong yang elements near the entrance to counterbalance the yin weight of the tree. Bright outdoor lighting, especially warm-toned lights that mimic sunlight, can help restore vitality. Wind chimes made of metal create movement and sound, dispersing heavy qi. Red accents, a painted door, welcome mat, or potted plants with red blooms activate fire energy and lift the atmosphere. Third, make regular offerings to the tree with respect and intention. This is not superstition. It's energetic dialogue. Burn incense at its base during the full moon. Offer water with gratitude. Speak to it as you would to an elder, thanking it for its protection while requesting that it allow prosperity and forward movement to flow freely to your household. Fourth, if possible, prune the tree's canopy to allow more light through. Do this with ceremony, not haste. Explain your intention aloud before cutting. Ask the tree's permission, and afterwards scatter the cut branches mindfully, perhaps composting them or using them in ritual. Finally, place protective and activating symbols near the entrance. A pair of fu dogs, also known as Chinese guardian lions, can stand between the tree and the door, acting as energetic gatekeepers. A convex mirror, not concave, placed above the door can deflect heavy qi while still honoring the tree's presence. And a vibrant, upward-growing plant, such as a bamboo or a young citrus tree, placed in a pot directly by the door, can introduce lighter, more prosperous energy. In summary, the banyan, sacred fig, and weeping fig are not plants to fear or reject. They are spiritual beings worthy of reverence, but like any powerful force, they must be placed with awareness. At the threshold of your home, where life force must flow freely and dynamically, their presence can become a barrier rather than a blessing. Let them reside in sacred gardens, temple grounds, or the far edges of your property, where their depth can be honored without overshadowing the vitality of your daily life. And in their proper place, they will offer you their wisdom without weighing down your path. Why the front door matters so much in Feng Shui. Before we move forward, let's pause for a moment and really dive into why the front door holds such a critical place in Feng Shui philosophy. Because understanding this will help you make not just better plant choices, but better life choices. In classical Feng Shui, the front door is called the mouth of Qi. Just as your physical mouth is the gateway through which nourishment enters your body, your front door is the gateway through which all life force energy enters your home. Every opportunity, every relationship, every bit of abundance that comes into your life must first pass through this portal. Think about it. When someone visits your home, what's the first thing they experience? The front door, the entryway, the threshold. And in those first few seconds, they form an impression, not just visually, but energetically. They feel whether your home is welcoming or closed off, vibrant or stagnant, aligned or chaotic. The same is true for Qi itself. Qi is intelligent, it's responsive, it moves like water, seeking the path of least resistance. If your entrance feels blocked, cluttered, dark, or heavy, Qi will struggle to enter. It will pool outside, becoming stagnant, or worse, it will bypass your home entirely, taking with it the opportunities and blessings meant for you. But when your entrance is clear, well lit, beautifully adorned with living plants that radiate vitality, and energetically aligned with your intentions, Qi flows in abundantly. It circulates through your home, nourishing every room, every relationship, every endeavor. This is why, in traditional Chinese architecture, so much care was given to the design of entryways. Gates were ornately decorated, thresholds were raised to slow down rushing Qi. Guardian statues were placed on either side, and plants, carefully chosen plants, were positioned to invite, filter, and bless the incoming energy. You might not have an ornate gate or stone lions, but you do have control over what plants you place at your door, and that simple choice can shift the entire energetic trajectory of your household. Additional plants to avoid or use with caution. Now that we've covered the 5 main categories of plants to avoid, let's briefly touch on a few others that require careful consideration. Cactus varieties in general. We mentioned thorned plants earlier, but it's worth emphasizing all cactus varieties carry sharp protective energy. While they're excellent for warding off negative influences or creating energetic boundaries in certain contexts, they're not suitable for the welcoming energy you want at your front door. Save your cacti for windowsills that face challenging environments, or place them in the far corners of your property where protection is needed. Bonsai trees at the entrance. Bonsai trees are beautiful, intricate, and deeply symbolic in Japanese culture. However, in Feng Shui, they represent restricted growth. The very art of bonsai is about keeping something small, contained, and controlled. While this can be meditative and aesthetically pleasing, it's not the message you want to send at your entrance. You want growth, expansion, and abundance, not limitation. If you love bonsai, display them inside your home as art pieces, but not at the threshold where they might symbolically cap your potential. Plants with downward growth. Certain plants naturally grow downward or trail heavily toward the ground. While beautiful in hanging baskets or as decorative accents, when placed at ground level near the entrance, they can symbolize energy sinking or descending. In Feng Shui, we want energy to rise, circulate, and expand, not droop or fall. Plants like string of pearls, trailing ivy in excess, or overly drooping ferns may be better suited for other areas of the home. Overly aggressive or invasive plants. Some plants, while vibrant and fast-growing, have aggressive root systems or tendencies to take over spaces. Examples include certain varieties of bamboo, running bamboo, knot clumping bamboo, mint, and invasive vines. While they symbolize growth, their uncontrollable nature can represent chaos or energy that's difficult to manage. At the entrance, you want controlled, intentional growth, not wild, unpredictable energy. Plants associated with toxicity. Certain plants are toxic to pets, children, or even to touch. While this is more of a practical concern than an energetic one, Feng Shui is holistic. A plant that causes harm, even unintentionally, creates a vibration of caution and danger. Examples include oleander, foxglove, and certain types of lilies. At your front door, you want safety, welcome, and peace of mind, not worry about who might accidentally touch or ingest something harmful. How to remedy a challenging plant situation. What if you've read all of this and realized that you already have one of the avoid plants at your entrance? Maybe it was planted by a previous owner. Maybe it was a gift. Maybe you simply didn't know. Don't panic. Feng Shui is not about perfection. It's about awareness and adjustment. Here are some remedies you can implement. Remedy number 1. Relocation with intention. If possible, move the plant to a more appropriate location. Do this mindfully. Thank the plant for its presence. Explain that you're finding it a better home where it can thrive and serve its purpose more fully. Relocate it to the backyard, a side garden, or even gift it to someone who can honor it in the right context. Then cleanse the space where it stood with salt water, incense, or by simply opening the area to fresh air and sunlight. Remedy number 2. Introduce balancing elements. If you cannot move the plant, introduce balancing elements nearby. For sharp-thorned plants, add soft, rounded companions. For yin-heavy trees, add yang elements like lights, wind chimes, or red accents. For dying plants, replace them immediately with vibrant, thriving ones. The key is to create energetic equilibrium. Remedy number 3. Use protective and activating symbols. Place Feng Shui cures near the entrance to redirect or transform the energy. A Bagua mirror above the door can deflect negative influences. A pair of Fu dogs can guard the threshold. Red tassels, crystals, or brass bells can activate positive cheers. These aren't superstitions. They're energetic tools that have been used for millennia. Remedy number 4. Set clear intentions. Sometimes the most powerful remedy is intention itself. Stand at your entrance. Close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, then speak aloud or silently. I release any energy that does not serve my highest good. I invite abundance, joy, health, and prosperity into this home. May all who enter here be blessed, and may all blessings find their way to me. Repeat this daily for 9 days. The number 9 in Feng Shui represents completion and transformation. Remedy number 5. Regular energetic cleansing. Keep your entrance energetically clean. Once a month, sweep the area physically and energetically. Burn sage, palo santo, or incense. Sprinkle salt water, dissolved sea salt in clean water along the threshold and doorstep. Ring a bell or play a singing bowl to break up stagnant energy. These simple acts maintain the clarity and vitality of your entrance. Practical tips for choosing and caring for your entrance plants. Now that we've covered what to plant and what to avoid, let's talk about practical care. Because even the most auspicious plant will lose its positive energy if it's neglected, wilted, or struggling to survive. Tip number 1. Choose plants that match your lifestyle. Be honest with yourself about how much time and attention you can give to your plants. If you travel frequently or have a busy schedule, choose low-maintenance plants like snake plants, pothos, or succulents. There's no shame in this. A thriving low-maintenance plant is infinitely better than a high-maintenance plant that's dying from neglect. Tip number 2. Match the plant to your climate. Don't force a tropical plant to survive in a cold climate. or a shade-loving plant to bake in full desert sun. Work with your environment, not against it. Research which plants are native or well adapted to your region. These will naturally be more resilient, require less intervention, and therefore maintain their vitality more easily. Tip number 3. Pot selection matters. The pot or planter you choose is part of the plant's energy signature. Ceramic and terracotta pots represent the earth element and provide grounding. Metal pots represent the metal element and bring clarity and precision. Avoid plastic when possible, as it lacks natural resonance. Choose colors that align with your intention. Green for growth, gold or red for wealth, white for purity, black for depth and protection. Tip number 4. Keep pots clean and intact. Cracked, chipped, or dirty pots create fragmented energy. Regularly clean your planters. If a pot cracks, replace it or repair it mindfully. The vessel that holds your plant is symbolic of the container that holds your life. Treat it with care. Tip number 5. Water with mindfulness. Don't just water your plants mechanically. Do it with presence. As you pour the water, visualize it as liquid abundance nourishing, not just the plant but your intentions. Speak kindly to your plants. Thank them. There's actually scientific evidence that plants respond to positive vibrations and intention. Whether you believe in the metaphysics or not, the act of mindful care creates a different relationship with your space. Tip number 6. Prune regularly. Dead leaves, brown tips, or overgrown branches should be pruned regularly. This isn't just for aesthetics. It's energetic hygiene. Pruning symbolizes releasing what no longer serves, making room for new growth. Do it seasonally, and as you cut, set an intention to release old patterns and welcome fresh possibilities. Tip number 7. Feed your plants. Just as you nourish your body with healthy food, nourish your plants with appropriate fertilizer. Use organic options when possible. The health of your plants reflects the health of your energetic environment. Well-fed plants are vibrant, strong, and emit powerful positive chi. Tip number 8. Observe and respond. Pay attention to your plants. Are they thriving or struggling? Yellowing leaves might indicate overwatering. Brown tips might mean underwatering or low humidity. Drooping might signal inadequate light. Your plants communicate with you. Learn their language. Responding promptly to their needs keeps the energy dynamic and alive. Tip number 9. Rotate and refresh. Energy becomes stagnant when things stay the same for too long. Every few months, rotate your plants slightly or rearrange their positions. Introduce a new plant seasonally. Refresh the soil. These small changes keep the energy circulating and prevent staleness. Tip number 10. Trust your intuition. Above all, trust your own intuition. If a plant feels wrong to you, even if it's considered lucky, don't force it. Feng Shui is not about rigid rules, it's about harmony. What feels harmonious to you? What brings you joy when you see it? That joy is a signal of alignment. Follow it, creating a complete entrance energy plan. Let's bring all of this together into a holistic plan for your entrance, because it's not just about the plants, it's about the entire energetic ecosystem of your threshold. Step 1. Clear and clean. Start with a blank slate. Remove everything from your entrance area. Sweep thoroughly. Wash the door and door frame. Clean the windows. Remove cobwebs, dust, and debris. If possible, repaint the door or touch up any chipped paint. Energetically cleanse the space with sage, incense, or salt water. You're creating sacred space. Step 2. Assess the flow. Stand outside your front door and observe. How does the energy flow? Is it direct and rushing too fast? Is it blocked or winding too slow? Is there a clear, welcoming path to the door? Are there any obstacles, physical or visual, that interrupt the flow? Note these. You'll address them next. Step 3. Establish a clear path. If your walkway is cluttered, cracked, or unclear, fix it. The path to your door should be smooth, well lit, and inviting. If it's too straight, creating rushing qi, add gentle curves with plantings on either side. If it's too winding, creating confused qi, simplify it. The goal is a gentle, welcoming approach. Step 4. Light it up. Your entrance should be well lit, both day and night. Natural light during the day, welcoming light fixtures at night. Warm-toned bulbs are better than harsh white light. Light represents yang energy, clarity, and awareness. It tells the universe, this home is alive. This home is open. Step 5. Choose your guardian plants. Now select your plants. Based on everything we've discussed, choose 1 to 3 plants for your entrance. Remember, odd numbers are more auspicious in Feng Shui. One large statement plant like a fiddle leaf fig or corn plant can anchor the space. Or 2 matching plants on either side of the door create symmetry and balance. Or 3 plants of varying heights create dynamic flow. Step 6. Add symbolic elements. Consider adding other Feng Shui elements. A welcome mat in auspicious color, red for energy, deep blue for calm abundance, gold for wealth, a door knocker or handle in brass or copper, a small water feature nearby, moving water represents flowing wealth, wind chimes to circulate qi, or a beautiful house number plaque in clear, easy-to-read characters, so opportunities can find you easily. Step 7. Set your intention. Once everything is in place, stand at your entrance. Place your hand on your heart. Take 3 deep breaths, then speak your intention aloud. This entrance welcomes abundance, joy, health, and harmony. All who enter here are blessed. All blessings flow freely to this home, and so it is. Feel the truth of these words in your body. Step 8. Maintain and honor. Your entrance is now activated, but it requires ongoing care. Weekly, sweep or tidy the area. Monthly, deep clean and refresh. Seasonally, introduce something new. A new plant, a new wreath, a new color accent. Annually, repeat the full cleansing and intention-setting ritual. Consistency maintains the field. The deeper philosophy. Your home as a living mandala. As we near the end of this journey together, I want to share something deeper with you. Something that goes beyond plants and placements and touches the very heart of what Feng Shui and mindful living is really about. Your home is not just a structure, it's a living mandala, a sacred geometry that reflects your inner landscape. Every object you place, every color you choose, every plant you nurture is a thread in the tapestry of your consciousness. In Buddhist philosophy, a mandala is a symbolic representation of the universe. It's used in meditation as a tool for focusing the mind and connecting with deeper truths. When you create your home with intention, you're creating a 3-dimensional mandala, a space that doesn't just house your body, but nourishes your soul. The plants at your entrance, they're not just greenery, they're prayers made visible. Each leaf is a petition for growth. Each flower is an offering of beauty. Each root is an anchor of stability. When you choose a fiddle leaf fig, you're declaring your intention to rise. When you nurture Cuban oregano, you're inviting gentle prosperity. When you honor the corn plant, you're committing to sustained effort and ethical success. And when you remove what doesn't serve, the thorns, the shadows, the decay, you're practicing discernment. You're learning to say no to what diminishes you, so you can say yes to what elevates you. This is the art of sacred living. This is Feng Shui in its truest form. Not superstition, not decoration, but conscious participation in the creation of your reality. Because here's the truth. The universe is always listening. Every choice you make sends out a vibration. Every space you create broadcasts a frequency, and like a tuning fork, the universe responds by sending back experiences, people, and circumstances that match that frequency. When your entrance radiates clarity, vitality, and welcome, the universe hears, "I am ready, I am open, I am worthy," and it responds accordingly. When your entrance is cluttered, dark, or neglected, the universe hears, "I am stuck, I am closed, I am uncertain." And it responds to that too. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a co-creator, and your home, starting with your front door, is one of your most powerful tools for shaping your destiny. A final blessing and invitation. My dear friend, as we come to the close of this episode, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for taking this journey with me, for opening your mind and heart to these ancient teachings. Whether you plant a single fiddle leaf fig or completely transform your entrance, know that the most important shift has already happened. Awareness, you now see your doorway differently. You understand its power, and that understanding will ripple out into every area of your life. Before you go, I'd like to offer you a blessing. You can receive it right now wherever you are. May your entrance always welcome abundance. May your threshold filter all that enters with wisdom. May your home be a sanctuary of peace, growth, and joy. May the plants you nurture reflect the flourishing of your dreams. May you walk through your door each day knowing you are supported by seen and unseen forces. May your life bloom in every season. And may you always remember, you are worthy of every blessing. If this video resonated with you, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps this channel grow and allows me to create more content that serves your journey toward mindful, intentional, abundant living. And if you'd like to dive even deeper, check out the links in the description for additional resources on Feng Shui, mindful gardening, and creating sacred space. Until next time, this is Buddhist Thoughts Feng Shui, reminding you, your life is your greatest work of art, and it begins right at your doorstep. Breathe deeply, live fully, and let your entrance welcome the extraordinary.